Hi, Ridge here, and welcome to another live stream. So today we're going to be talking about editing. Now, for some people, this is a big issue. For some people, they actually find this incredibly difficult, and um, it's just like daunting to them. Like, oh, editing. I don't want to do any more video because once I shoot it, I don't want to edit it anymore. So I want this video particularly to have a lot of rewatch value, so I'm going to jump right into it regardless of who is watching. Who is watching? In fact, I'm going to make sure... In fact, because I'm going to be using both of my screens here, I'm actually going to have to watch the live stream and read your comments from my phone. One moment. Oh, somebody just posted a new video. Just give me 1 second. Here we are. Okay. So, let me know. I can see from this other screen who's in the chat, and I will read it as we go. If you have any questions about post-production process, I've got a very special treat for us today. Today, we are going to be editing one of my next videos, which will post Friday. So you will get an exclusive look at this. So, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. And I apologize about the audio. I have some very nice microphones. In fact, let me show them to you. This is a $300 Rode microphone. This is a cheap lav, but very good quality. But unfortunately, my sound card doesn't recognize either. Once I plug it in, it sounds like this. So I'm having to use my $70 microphone attached to a $70 webcam. And it still sounds like garbage. But we're just going to go ahead and work through it. And we're going to see what this sounds like. So, enough said there. We're going to jump in to this thing. All right. One moment. I want to make sure that there's not weird feedback, because there is in my headphones. 1 second. Okay, so today we're going to edit a video, and I'm going to show you my post-production process. Sorry about the long intro. We're already 3 minutes into the video. Probably lost a lot of you guys. We'll go ahead and start the process. Now, because I do have two monitors, I'm going to have to switch back and forth. Let's jump right into it. I believe I want to hit screen here. So, what we have here is these are all my videos, and you can see some of them I've named, some of them I have not. And that's something that you should keep in mind. I like to number them, A, so they stay in sequence of the videos I've edited, and B, the name afterwards tells me what it's about. Like, oh, addictions, merch. Oh, that's right, that was the merch one. Good credit score. That's actually a video I haven't done yet. I actually have a lot of good information, like how to get good credit score. I just haven't done it yet. I don't know why. That's the one I actually did like the most research on. So, whatever. Bad conversations, one of my better ones. Speak well or state poor. You can see this is my organized. So let me back up. So obviously here's all my YouTube stuff. All right. So I've got my intro. I've got tools, other things that I use in there, like my logos and stuff for my merch. Photos. In the photo album, I have my thumbnails. Here's my subscribe buttons. Other things that I might use for my videos, I just kind of put them in here. It's not super organized. Music, all the stuff that I use for Music Bed is boom, automatically right in there. Let me back up. And then episodes, right? So then I have all my episodes here. Monday Mindsets, that was a little idea I had that Monday, I'll call it Monday Mindsets. And I realized, well, why? Just post a video. So I kind of went away from that. I have live down here. But most importantly, I have main camera and second main camera, and GoPro. Now, GoPro is my secondary camera, the one that I like look over and talk to you. That's my secondary camera. So I put all my footage in that one. When I plug in my card, I transfer all my main files over to my main camera. And the reason I have two folders is sometimes when I reset my card, the counter restarts. Now, I believe that's a setting I can change, and hopefully in the future, so it's just continuous. So forever it will just be like file 4226, rather than every time I format the file, it always names it 1, 2, 3. So oftentimes when I have stuff I'm still working on and editing, I'll grab a new file, put it over, and be like, oh, we already have file 4. So this is also the reason I create other. So that way it doesn't, like, do you want to replace it? Do you want to delete it? So that's right, folks. We're talking about the coronavirus. Whoopsies. I just said the naughty word. And then, like I said, in my GoPro, same thing. I've got my file that I know is the most recent file. Okay, so since I do a dual camera shoot, that's what we're starting with. So the next thing, I am jumping in, and Roger just jumped in. And let's see here. Your audio might suck, but you look good. Thank you so much. That is encouraging because I feel like awful today. So, I was like literally the last like 5 minutes. Like this, no joke, this happened. So I got home from work because I'm actually working again. I went and I shot the video about, it's a real short video, just kind of like a PSA, like here's something to think about when it comes to COVID-19. Just something that people aren't talking about, so something I want to bring out. I'm not trying to like give new information or anything. So that was something I jumped on and did. I recorded the whole thing, but here's what happened. On my main camera, I walk up and I hit, and I thought I heard the stop recording. And so I thought it was good. So I just reached up and ejected the card. And so that made it a corrupt file. So as I'm like setting this up and my microphone's not working, I had to run back and re-record my little PSA or whatever. Nightmare. I'm sure all of you that watch this knows what that's like. Sometimes you record a whole video and you realize something was wrong and you just have to go redo it again. So, and I will also say we're babysitting a couple kids, so my kids might walk in and out of this, but this is going to be just super casual, but I want to give value. So let's jump back into this. What we've got going on over here. I want to make sure you guys can all see this. Yeah, I realize it's kind of cropped weird. I have actually anamorphic, so it's like this instead of that. So I'll make sure you guys can actually see this. I'll try to pay attention to the screen and not the camera. Okay, so I've got my GoPro. That's my secondary camera. So I've already backed up the footage, so we won't have to watch that. And my little kid just walked in. Hey buddy, we're going live right now. You need those gloves on? Hang on a second, guys. Sorry about this. Kid needs mittens on. As you can tell, he's short like me. Here, do you want to say hi to the world?
Hi.
Say hi, world.
Hi, world.
Say wash your hands, stay safe.
Wash your hands, stay safe.
There we go. All right. Okay, run, go play. Okay. So now that I've done that, essentially, then what I do, and what I want to do is I want to jump on, and let me go back to my folder. I've already created the folder number, COVID-19. You can see it. And in here, I want to start putting, I don't actually put the footage. I keep the footage in my main folders because I can delete the main footage after my video is finally rendered and created. I know there's a lot of people that back up all their footage, and that's great, but guess what? I don't have like a RAID system or something that Pixar has, okay? So I delete my footage after it's rendered and it's a product I want. So, but what I do have is you will see a folder down here called, where is it? Oh, blank, right there. Or bank. It's supposed to be blank. Anyway, the files are called blank. So what I do is I copy one of these guys. Check it out. These are all blanks. These are the blank folders. These are the blank projects that I have all the stuff that I need, all the tracks, and I'll show you in a second. And I post it in here, paste. That's just, Control V if you're a PC user. And then F2 to rename it, and I'm going to just call it what are we on? 33. Oh, I'm sorry, 34. I'll call it. There we go. No, not 98. And I have fat fingers. I'm horrible at spelling and stuff, but you guys don't see that, or actually you might. And then we, bam, boom shakalaka, open it up. Now let's go ahead and it's loading, and I believe we just lost our audio. One second. Let me see if I can get it back. Let me know if you can still hear me, because I can't hear myself. Can you hear me? If anyone is out there watching, let me know if you can actually hear me, because I think we just lost our audio, because what I do not hear is, it is actually saying that it's still on. I'm just not hearing the loop in my ear, which is concerning, because I've never practiced this on a live stream before. Oh, okay, we're good. You can hear me. Sweet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. All right, so that's awesome. Now I don't have to hear myself loop about 1 second behind, which is a nightmare to listen to. Roger, I'm sure, Matt, I'm sure you know what that's like. If there's ever like a little delay in your earpiece and you can hear yourself and it's delayed, it just drives you absolutely crazy. Okay, so now what I've done is, so I've created this, I've opened this one up, and let me see here. I want to switch over to my front screen. So you can see this is where my preview screen is going to be. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to preview it because I use, again, the 2 monitors, which once you go 2 monitors, you'll never go back. So I'm going to try to keep in mind to be switching between the 2. So I'm going to go to front screen, so you guys are going to see what I'm looking at. So it'll take a few seconds here. It would be nice if I could do a whole expansion version of this, but unfortunately we can't. And for whatever reason, it is not liking this screen. One more minute. Roger, you talked about using that simpler software. Let me look at, make sure I have all my settings right here so you can actually see my editing screen, which, you know, is kind of important. Yeah, because it's just blank. That is strange, because I see it on my end and it's showing up on my end, but I'm watching my live stream and I'm not seeing my front screen here. Let me double check. Look closer. Yeah, all I'm seeing is blank. Let me know if you can see this front screen at all. This is just my OBS software. It's supposed to be showing up. Nope, it is not. It is not streaming that at all. Huh. Well, this is slightly embarrassing. This may be one of those live streams that, you know, you just end up deleting because you're so embarrassed that it just failed so horribly. That is so weird. Let me try one more thing here. I apologize. I swear to God, this was all working. Worst case scenario, I'll just drag everything over to here and just completely rearrange my editing software. I'm going to try one more thing. Thank you guys for being patient with me. If you're still watching, and if you are watching this on playback, just skip ahead. I'll eventually get to the important stuff right now. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out. Like I said, I had this all worked out here. Okay, that is kind of what I was looking for. There we go. I don't know what the problem was. So I'm going to just go ahead and drag this guy over to here. That'll be part of the display window. Here we go. Okay. So now we can see the, I apologize for that, everyone. If you skipped ahead and got to the point, now you're to the good juice. So what I have, excuse me, going on here is I have on this side of my monitor, that's not what I wanted. On this side of my monitor, I have my display window, and I have all of these tabs here for my different stuff. This when I do color correction, and I find all this awesome stuff. These are my transitions. This is my display. Over here, obviously, is my levels, right? And if you can see over on this window here, we have this is my main real estate. This is what I edit. This is where I work. So I get this massive 29-inch monitor to edit on, and my other one's the same size. So it's two that I just got so much real estate to work on. And if you think, oh, editing's hard, it literally may just be the size of screen you're editing it on and how much space you have to click and drag and move stuff around. If you're having to click and change screens all the time to navigate, that may be the very problem. Now, this one was obviously called Vegas, which is the software I'm using, versus Adobe, and I'm going to be, as I talk about this, I'm going to be mentioning the different things why I'm going with Adobe and not I'm sorry, why I'm going with Vegas and not Adobe. So let's jump into editing. So I've got my videos here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to shrink this down just a hair. And I'm going to have to figure out how to get all of this like fit into one spot here. So I can actually see A, what I'm doing, B, can switch back and forth between. There we go. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I'm going to go ahead and go to cam, ACAM, and you can't see this, but you saw the folders. It was in other, and I'm going to click and drag that on main video 1, and I'm just going to drop it like way back here. So you can see me in the mask, because everybody's wearing masks, you know, because they think that's going to stop it. I mean, it definitely helps it from spreading. Then we're going to go to episodes here. Let's see here. Yes, thanks, Roger. You see it now, right? I mean, because Roger just Matt just mentioned that he sees it. He sees it now. And then I'm going to go to GoPro. That's where I have my secondary camera, and I'm going to drop it on here. Now I happen to know that I started recording this my secondary camera first. So let me go ahead and back up. Okay, sees it. Now I don't need my main window. Okay, here we go. Now we're having fun. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to sync these two files up. And the best way to do that is, I've done this for so long. I've done 2 feature films. I did one in 3 days, manually syncing up every single audio piece. I can just see exactly where these line up. But I created a little special thing, and Ridge from the past will explain it. Little clicker. See that? Get it like a dog trainer. So it's a little dog trainer that you can get like at a store or whatever, but you can see how sharp that spike is, especially with a good quality microphone. So I just basically, I go quantum here, and I sync up these peaks and valleys until they look good. And then once they're sunk up, this is what I do. I don't click on the audio. I click on this audio, that audio, because I know this is from my camera and not my secondary camera. And some softwares call it link, some softwares call it group. This one calls it grouping them. And I group them together. I can delete this audio because I don't need it anymore. And bam, now I'm ready to go. My 2 cameras are now perfectly sunk up. So what I do is I first find my audio intro. And I know I did a couple here.
F this one up. So COVID-19, should we be actually freaking out like everyone else is?
find the intro that I like the most.
Hi, Ridge here, and today...
Oh, apparently I didn't do other
Yes.
intros. Okay, so I didn't do any other intros. So just delete that. Grab this over here. Now, obviously, I look at the other camera, so this is what I do there.
COVID-19, should we be actually freaking out like everyone else is?
Let me turn up. You guys can hear the desktop audio, right?
Should we...
Okay. All right. Video capture. Okay. Okay, we're good. I'm having to scroll through making sure that we're not blowing anything out.
Be actually freaking out like everyone else is.
Let me turn it way down. Okay. So what I do is I just grab, and this is another thing I love about Vegas, is you just hover over approximately where you want it, and it changes the tool. You don't have to go and select a new tool. You're just like, hover, bam. Hey, I want to do fade? No problem. Boom, fade. But anyway, since these two are together, this is how I do it, is I'll make a slice, I'll select just the video, and I'll change the opacity automatically like that. And then this is what it looks like. So, boom. And then my intro's done, and then I drag my intro that I already had saved in that particular file, bam, throw it right in there. Let me see here. How many frames can you be off and the naked eye won't be able to see it? That's a great question, man. Obviously, you've been in video before, because I would say you can be off, oh gosh, probably 10, I think. But what you want to do, if you're off at all, you want to see the visual first and not the audio. Because we're used to, especially when things are far away, visually seeing them first, because light travels faster than ears. Light travels faster than sound. They travel faster than ears too. But so if it's going to be off, it's better to have the audio actually behind than forward. If it's forward, it's like, I believe Vsauce 3 did a video on this. If it's forward, anything like 5 frames, you can almost tell, but it can be behind almost like 10 frames and really not disturbing or noticeable. So great question. Okay, so we're going to jump back into this. So here we go. And this is where I turn on what they call ripple delete. That means when I click on something and edit it, everything else in the project is going to squish down, and you'll see what it is. So I'm turning on ripple delete, and that helps me edit.
Hi, Ridge here, and today... I've already done this once. Hi, Ridge here, and today...
So, didn't like it. See, and everything just scooted down.
I've already done this once. Hi, Ridge here, and today... Hi, Ridge here, and today we are going to talk... Okay. I can't do it with this on, Ryan. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. All right? Start again.
So that's obviously just a joke for me and Ryan. I did the sync again, which I already did. Wait a minute, I'm concerned now. Yep. So this is where I walk behind the camera and speak for Ryan's voice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this audio clip, whoopsies. I got to turn ripple delete off. Whoops. Copy that. Whoops. Come on. I can hit the right button sometimes. Copy just the audio clip. And then I'm going to paste the audio clip under the audio clip 2 here. And it copied the whole thing. That's fine. Whatever. It's easy for me just to delete it. I separate audio tracks from video tracks. That means it allows me to independently actually edit them. So when he goes to take this off, I'm going to hear this.
Today we are going to talk... Okay. I can't do it with this on, Ryan. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. All right? I'm sorry. It's not going to work. All right?
So it just adds a little funny joke. I like interacting with Ryan. It makes it funny. And for those of you who are like, oh, Ryan wasn't real. No, Ryan's not real. He's me.
Hi, Ridge here.
Whoopsies. I need to turn back on the function. Let's actually just undo that. Oh, and also with this software, it's a little janky. Whoopsies. You need to always stay up to date. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to keep editing through this here.
Start again. Hi, Ridge here, and today we're going to talk about COVID-19. This is going to be a real short video because I only have really one thing to say about it. And that one thing is stop listening to the news. Stop listening to the news.
And then here we go. We're going to do an opacity change again.
Stop listening to the news.
Now, my second step is always to do color grading, so I don't worry about that when I'm just cutting together my information. The biggest thing I want to do is make sure that I'm just getting the information cut together real quick.
Stop listening to the news. The news, their job, they have one thing in mind, and that
don't take offense at this, Matt.
Is to make sure that you keep watching. And whenever they're covering something like this, they're going to just get major moolah from the advertisement company, because guess what? Right after they're talking about an outbreak, they're like, oh, do you want to, buy the next new Jeep or something? And they're going to make commercials that sound like, oh, we're getting away from this. You better believe me that they're making buku money off of covering this. So let's get real.
And here's where I look at the camera again, so I make a slice.
It's going to be biased.
Now what I like to do sometimes is when I do the turns, not always, but sometimes I like to just cut out the turn. Unless it's part of the joke, like I'm talking like this, and then I say something. Then I like to keep the turn in there.
It's going to be biased.
Slice again, select just the video, drop the opacity.
It's going to be biased. Going to be biased. Now, I'm not saying that the information isn't accurate. I'm just saying, no, I'm not saying it's going to be biased. I'm not saying it's exactly right. I am saying that it's going to be biased, and it is going to be slanted. And I don't care what news station you listen to. Every news station out there is going to have a slant on the information. They make better money when it makes it sound so terrifying.
Now, especially when I jump into something like this, where I'm like yelling or something like that.
Terrifying.
I want to like almost cut off just the first couple frames of my word. It just makes it more jarring. And even cut off a little bit of my so.
So terrifying.
It just makes it more jarring and more funny.
When it makes it sound so terrifying. So please be smart. Don't listen.
Instead of so please, I'm going to cut that off.
So terrifying. Please be smart. Don't listen to the news. Now, of course, you're going to be asking, what do I listen to then?
Now this one I'm going to leave. I'm not going to try to cut that out just because I like just the slow.
What do I listen to then?
But I am going to just probably cut the end off. And it's there's no rule to it. I just do whatever I want.
Internet at all in the last couple weeks. The CDC, Center for Disease Control. Listen to them. They don't make money off of how much they actually get watched. They don't care. Their job is to give you the accurate information. And surprisingly, they're not telling you to go out and stock up food for months or stock up tons of toilet paper. Tons of toilet paper. Tons of toilet paper. As if toilet paper is going to cure us from this disease. As if toilet paper is going to cure us from this disease.
This is a bit of a, like the subject matter, and of course, in the comments when I release this video is going to be an interesting topic because I don't talk about anything like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, hey, just follow the CDC.
From this disease. So, the point is, I want...
Instead of the so, I'm going to cut the so out.
The paper is going to cure us from this disease. The point is, from this disease. The point is,
and I will tell you, as an editor, you begin to be like, I can almost, not quite yet, almost read the sound wave and tell you what I'm saying sometimes, especially if I've said it.
We need to all take a real serious look at the situation, and it is a serious situation. We should definitely be concerned. But the biggest thing is we need to be listening to not the news, but the CDC. We need to be... My wife brought me a sandwich.
And it was a great sandwich. It was a very, very good sandwich. It was like leftover roast made into like a Parmesan panini. It was phenomenal. But that happens when filming. Okay, let's see what I say.
We need to be listening to...
Start over.
We need to stop...
Okay, so let's find out where I changed. And then I can delete all of that.
We should definitely be concerned. We need to be listening to... situation. We should definitely be concerned. We need to stop listening to the news because their job is to entertain and to keep people watching. We need to be listening to the CDC because that's their job. And it's not biased.
I should probably just put this over here somewhere.
They're not trying to like diminish how dangerous this is. They're going to give us an exact plan. They're going to give us an exact...
Okay, hold on.
They're not trying to like diminish how dangerous this is. They're going to give us an exact... How dangerous this is. They're going to give us an exact plan. They're going to give us an exact... They're going to... Speak us out. They're not trying to like diminish how dangerous this is. They're going to give us an exact...
See how smoothly that fits together when you just like, yeah, you begin to like, especially when you record it and you're editing it, it's so much easier.
They're going to give us an exact description of how this particular virus is affecting the world. And they're going to give us advice on how to deal with it. And guess what, people? They're not telling us to run to the hospital. Run to the hospital if you have a cough. Or store up on toilet paper. Or store up on tons of food. Yes, they literally say on their website to stock up on some extra food because you may have to stay at home if you're sick. At home if you're sick. Just like any other flu. These have severe symptoms and they can lead to death, but for the most part, we've had other diseases that have had higher... We've had other diseases. We've had other... For the most part, viruses that have had higher fatality. We've had other viruses that have had higher fatality rates. So it's awesome to see that we're taking a more proactive effort to preventing the spread of this virus. Influenza has killed more people than the coronavirus has. So I want to encourage us, let's stop listening to the news. Let's please listen to the people that are professionals in this. Listen to the CDC and no one else. And that way we can take the proper steps, not over panicking, but also preparing ourselves appropriately until we can work through this difficult time.
And then there we go. And so basically now I don't always then go through and rewatch it because I've pretty much got it locked down. So what I'll do is then I'll throw in my ending, my ending screen.
Difficult time.
and then there's my ending screen. Now, how long the end screen plays just simply depends on, you know, how long, what music I play. Because sometimes, you know, and I pay high quality for music bed, so sometimes I like to flash a little cool music at the end.
Today we're going to talk about COVID-19. This is going to be a real short video because I only
Ding.
got one thing to say.
So since I didn't do the, and if you're interested in your journey to wealth, you know,
Team, should we be actually freaking out like everyone else is?
now I am going to say this clip here is very under saturated, so I'm going to saturate that. So now what I typically do is go to color correction and make sure, see, it's a little hot in the hot areas, and it's a little, so I'll go to my color curves, and I'll probably just try to drag it down. Oh wow, that did not look good. Just try to find where I can, and it's just you kind of just got to play with it here.
Freaking out like everyone else.
Let me try to find another clip here, maybe without a mask.
When it makes it sound so terrifying. Please be
That's so darn close. I'm gonna leave it. I'll usually tweak it like 1 or 2 more times before I finally call it.
out like everyone else is.
So now I go to music. So now here's the fun part. So this is what I do for my music. If you guys haven't noticed my music, unsubscribe because it is darn good music. I'm sorry. Please don't unsubscribe. But you know, I pay a lot of money for my music. I pay, well, I used to pay $100 a month. Then I found out, hey, I can have a personal account from Mr. Music Bed. So what I want to do is I want to start maybe this out with like the serious music. So I'll click on browse, and okay, you guys can see that on that screen. And then I'm going to click on mood. I'm going to go serious, and then hold your breath. It would make sense, hold your breath, right? If I had more to say in this video, I'd like do this long intro with this playing, like, you know, all these people like in slow motion, black and white walking, and people like, not to minimize, you know, the people are dying from this. I'm not trying to make fun of it. Okay, so we got serious. Let me jump on to, I'd like to find some like cinematic, like, so we're going to go to serious, genre, and click on cinematic, which is up here. And hold your breath is the first one. Let's try this one. I can already like it. I like it. Can you guys hear that? So we'll start out with that. I'm obviously going to change it because I don't want the whole one to be like we're all dying. And then once it's downloaded, I click on it just straight from my browser, and I go hover over that, and it wants to pull it up. Oopsies. And I'll just drop it here. Oh, it is on. Oh, hold on. I drop it onto music. Okay. So we'll drag it. Oh, I see what I did wrong. I had auto ripple delete, so once I dropped a 3-minute clip on it, it pushed everything over 3 minutes. And that's one thing that Adobe does not do. I mean, they do it kind of, but when you're dragging and dropping, it like doesn't quite do that. Another thing that Adobe, and oh, here we go. I promised you Adobe versus this. I'll do a more detailed video later. But Vegas, if I want to slice this, guess what? Done. You know what Adobe has to do? You have to click, literally you have to move your mouse and click to change the tool, or you can hit 2 buttons that changes it, and then you have to hover over this and then click. So for me, that was a big deal. And you cannot change the fact that you can see I'm scrolling to zoom. Adobe can't change that. It scrolls like this. Oh, I'm sorry, like this. It scrolls like that. And it's very slow, too. And so if I want to scroll faster, like by minutes per scroll, I have to go down to the little zoom window. I'm sorry. The navigation on it is not nearly as good as this software. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the little hover, oh, fade to black. You know, like this one here.
Until
Fade
we
to
can
black.
work through this difficult...
Well, it's not fading to black, but it's, fading to the next shot. But anyway, that's not something Adobe has. They have all these little buttons and these things you got to change your pen tool to, rather than just like, hey, you need to fade to black, hover over the back of the tool, the back of the clip. Duh. Anyway, the navigation on this and the simplicity of it is why I'm still with it, even though the customer service is not that great. Anyway. Oh, that actually started out really good. So let's see here. I want to watch that. Back to the music.
So COVID-19, should we be actually freaking out like everyone else is? Hi, Ridge here. This is going to be a real short video.
I kind of want to do this. What I want to do is, right when he says freaking out, I want to... Oh, shit. Excuse me. I have to remember, I have a live audience here. Can't say profanities. So I want to turn off the auto delete here. Let's see here. Crap, dude, that's a crazy kind of spin of music. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. The music from YouTube library, I've heard them all. No, it's like you can just like automatically tell like music library. And there's only like 10 artists. So for me, when I started, it was like I have to buy good music because I want it to stand out and I want it to be good. And some people don't even use it, and they have more subscribers than me. So maybe I'm doing it all wrong. But the point is especially as a musician myself, I composed some music for my second feature film. I composed all the music for my first feature film. I wanted it to be good. Like, I wanted sections to be like orchestrated and to be awesome. And I'm incredibly happy with it. I'm very satisfied with this thing. It's $14.99 a month personally, but when I become monetized and it actually becomes a business, I'll be paying $100 a month. But I'm willing to do it, honestly, because I've looked at other servicing softwares, Premium Beats, a couple other ones, because I can take like a really popular track, like artists that you can actually go get tickets to and go see them perform. That's how good artists there are on MusicBed. I can take their tracks, I can take out background vocals, just their vocals, and just have the instrumental. So that way I can fade in and out like you've seen in some of my videos where I fade into lyrics and stuff. You can do that with MusicBed. It's freaking awesome. Okay, so I kind of clip and adjust this.
So COVID-19, should we be actually freaking out like everyone else is? Hi, Rich here, and today we are going to talk... I can't do...
There we go. So it's like, it's fading into like this creepy section here.
I can't do it with this on, Ryan. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. All right? Start again. Hi, Ridge here, and today we're going to talk about...
Okay, so save. Every time I click off my software, I save because it's had a problem with crashing. Don't know why. It just does. Dealing with that, trying to talk to customer service, like, hey, why is this crashing? So now I want to find a little more like hopeful beat, but not like solemn and like, I mean, I love the little kind of rock blues sound that's real popular in pop right now. That's why I love, so Graffiti Ghost, which I've used a lot, just released a new album. But let me click on blues and just see if like outside. Oh, I've already used these guys. Wait a minute, isn't that what Think Media uses? You gotta just press record. Am I wrong? You gotta just press record. I think it is. Well, I mean, oh, it's the drum song that goes. It's not like you know, it's very specific. Fighter. Here we go. With oohs and ahs. I already like it. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna beat this virus right now. We're gonna beat it to the ground. We're gonna run it out of town, buy the toilet paper, and we're gonna clear the shelves until nobody has any left. That's right. We're gonna do it right from left. We're gonna beat this thing, gonna beat it to death no matter what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it right. We're gonna beat this thing until we turn it around. We're gonna save America, save the world, wash our hands, well, boys and girls. I don't know. This sounds good to me. Except for the rap. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. So we downloaded that, and then, like I said, we click and we drag. I kind of like that beat a lot, actually. And then we drop it on there, and hey, that actually fit almost the whole song perfectly. So then, yeah, that's actually perfect.
Rich here, and today we're going to talk about COVID-19. This is going to be a real short video because I only have really one thing to say about it. And that one thing is...
Thanks, Matt. I've been working on freestyling for a long time.
Stop listening to the news. The news, their job, they have one thing in mind, and that is to make sure no one else, and that way we
And then I'll check out the ending typically.
can take the proper steps, not over panicking, but also preparing ourselves appropriately until we can work through this difficult time.
And I definitely want to end that sooner.
Through this difficult time.
And then just end it right there. You know, I like to have like 3 seconds for an end screen because usually I'm trying to have my suggested videos pop up afterwards, or before I'm done talking. Just, you know, it's a suggestion by a lot of good people, and I think it's a good suggestion. You don't want to give people an indication that it's ending. So yeah. So then basically what I want to do now is you guys are going to enjoy this. This is going to be something fun coming up. And again, this is something that is so much more difficult in Adobe. I mean, I would love to do a video where I'm editing both and showing you how much more difficult it is in Adobe, where this one is so much more organized. And if you guys have any questions, please, you know, let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this particular one. Let me see here. Yeah, that's right. No, I mean, listen to the news. So Matt just informed me. Definitely don't stop listening to the news. But, you know, there's an exaggeration from the news perspective, you know, to a certain extent. So, like I said, save the comments for when the video is released.
Should we be actually freaking out like everyone else is?
Okay, you can see I start reaching for the mask to take it off for some reason. So I'm going to turn on this, turn that on. There we go. Now I obviously turn on the ripple delete whenever I clip and actually move a video a little closer, because if I do that, then all my audio and everything's going to be synced. So I have to turn on what they call ripple delete. And again, Adobe does that, but it's very complicated. It's not nearly this easy. Like, you turn it on, you turn it off, and everything is affected. This one I can turn ripple delete on for just a single track or the whole project. Where Adobe, you literally have to right click on every single empty space and say ripple delete, ripple delete, ripple delete, ripple delete if you've had to move and shift an entire project. Again, and it's not something I'm interested in doing. I'm a content creator. Now, when I go to do my feature film, my next feature film, which I hope will be a poker movie, I'll probably do it in Adobe because A, I'll be able to collaborate with people. B, they have way better plugins than this one does.
Hi, Rich here, and today we are going to talk... Okay. I can't do it with this on, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Okay, so the funny thing I was going to talk about, when I'm checking out, I play it in double time just because, hey, I don't have a ton of time. So here we go. You get over the laugh really quick. It's pretty easy.
Stop listening to the news. The news, their job, they have one thing in mind, and that is to make sure you keep watching. And whenever they're covering something like this, they're going to just get major moolah from the advertisement company, because guess what? Right after they're talking about an outbreak, they're like, oh, do you want to, buy the next new Jeep or something? And they're going to make commercials that sound like, oh, we're getting away from this. You better believe me that they're making
Toyota, let's go places away from the virus.
Buku money off of covering this. So let's get real. It's going to be biased. I'm not saying it's exactly right. I am saying that it's going to be biased, and it is going to be slanted. And I don't care.
So anyway, so at this point, after I've gotten the music, and the music gives me a vibe of like what sound effects I want to add, then I go to sound effects. Now I'm going to show you what I use. I had to cancel the subscription because if you guys follow my channel, I've been out of work. But Soundly, boom, they are an amazing software. I am just blown away at how good their software is. Because, like, for example, if I wanted to find door slam, they have now, because I don't have their actual subscription, these are all blanked out. But I can just go like, let's say if that was the one I wanted to use, check it out. Watch what I do. Click. And, oh, it's being a dick right now. But anyway, yeah, basically you just click, drag, boom, or even just a section of the sound effect. Oh, that was the problem. I didn't select the sound effect. Boom, done. And then I can just keep doing that. They have thousands and thousands if you sign up. Their free version has only like 5% of everything they have. I was signed up for it originally, especially when I did my feature film, and when I initially signed up, and it was so nice. Like any sound effect you can possibly imagine. Small music clips, trailer sounds, all of that stuff. So depending on the vibe of the actual, depending on the vibe of the video will determine whether I use sound effects. If it's a little more like, oh, it's funny, then yeah, I'll use a lot more sound effects, So, okay, let me take a quick look here. Oh, you play Texas Hold'em. So do I. Too much, actually. Actually, we play just casual games. I've never been to like an actual big tournament. But yeah, so the idea of my next feature film was I have to be able to create it on like a $5,000 budget, and I wanted to create like, okay, what could I do if I could get different people in communities to like, do you have a creepy looking basement where we can set up a poker table? And I have all of this portable props, all these different poker chips and fake drinks and stuff like that I'm setting up in all these different underground poker games that people are having in the Flathead Valley. That would be pretty cheap because you're shooting in free environments, no big expensive environments, and it can be type of weekend shoots. So that was the whole reason behind the poker idea. And the idea is there's a guy that's staking tons of players, but he also owns all of the underground poker joints. So he's staking the players and having the dealers actually cheat to make those players lose money so he can run up some juice on them. But then that begins to actually backbite the main guy, the main bad guy, and then all the people that he was staking end up figuring out that all the dealers are cheating, bottom dealing, and they end up, basically having a revolt. So it's a big old action shoot scene at the end. Anyway, that's the basic premise. Anyway, back to the main thing here.
Listen to the CDC and no one else, and that way
Listen to the news. I mean, they're going to give you some general idea. Just don't freak out.
we can take the proper steps, not over panicking, but also preparing ourselves appropriately until we can work through this difficult time.
Anyway, so that's just the basic. That's how I had it. And of course, this one was a short one. I was doing a lot of talking with the camera. I would have had it done a lot quicker not doing that. But thank you so much, Matt, for stopping by, and anybody that was here that I didn't see. Thanks for stopping by, and everyone that watches this. I hope this was helpful. I know I didn't do a ton of comparisons. I should have just said, watch me edit a video. But I had to make it this morning when I realized my brother, who we were supposed to be doing a Bitcoin versus gold debate, and I just didn't get it together, and I hadn't communicated with them, and I was like, there's no way I can be like, hey, dude, are you ready to debate tonight? So I was like, let me just do this, throw this live stream real quick together. I hope people find value in this, and if there's any questions you have, please make sure you post them in the comments below about this. They'll be doing some tweaks. This video will probably be out probably by Friday, and sometimes I'll throw little images over it if I want to do that. I typically just go to Google Images. I know I shouldn't, but that's what I do. So anyway, oh, thanks. Thank you, Matt, for saying my stuff always looks very professional. I try. I don't want to be one of those guys that just sets the phone in the background and be like, let me tell you how much money I made this week on my stocks. No insults to people that do that, but, like, come on, just try. Just step up your game. You'll probably be getting more subscribers, but they have way more than I do, so who am I to talk? But anyway, the point is, so that's my workflow. As I've talked about my other videos, in my video, oh gosh, was it a live stream? I think it was my first live stream I did. Whatever video software you use, make sure you can drag and drop from your actual, from your file folders straight to your timeline. It's going to save you so much time. Make sure that your navigation is simple. I prefer expand when I scroll rather than actual scroll. I can hold Control or Shift to change it if I need to, but for the most part I can just expand all the way down to frames, few scrolls, bam, into the project. To me, that's such a better navigation system, and nobody else does that. Vegas from Magix is the only one that does. And they have a lot of good plugins. They're not the greatest, but you can get third-party plugins. So if there's third-party plugins that you love, you can get it for this. Just their in-house plugins aren't fantastic. They're by no means crappy. They're just not nearly as good as Adobe. So for content creators, definitely this one. Oh, and by the way, Bobby Duke uses this. Bobby Duke. He's gonna beat you with some wood and some rocks. If you haven't ever seen Bobby Duke, definitely check him out. But he, in one video, he showed him editing a video, and I was like, oh, he uses Vegas like I do. Because they actually used to be right up there. I mean, they had Adobe and Vegas because it used to be owned by Sony, and then Sony was all like, and they gave up on it, and then now it's picked up by a foreign company. But it's still okay, and it's just the navigation and how simple it is to use is what I need. I can crank out a video so fast. Like I said, I edited my feature film in 4 days, so that shows you something. Yeah, you have a good night too, Matt. Thank you so much for stopping by. Anyway, that's all I have for you tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more videos and detailed, or, like I promised, a more detailed, accurate comparison of why I use Vegas over Adobe rather than just me mentioning it, please let me know, and I'll try to set up a better dual screens system. Please let me know in the future. I hope to do more videos on this in the future, but it actually might be on a second channel I'll be launching soon called, gosh, what was the name of it? Filming Simplified. Well, that's all I have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, always be creating.